Now let's talk about some of the platform features that we've introduced in 21 Release 2. One of the most important things is the new visual workflow engine. What I'm showing on my screen is a purchase receipt workflow. The visual workflow engine makes it easy to make low-code, no-code customization so businesses can run their business exactly as it needs to be run without coding. This is the standard workflow that you see, but we're going to go ahead and go to a site where we're going to change that. So you'll see I have a customization project here where I've included my screen, the purchase receipts. So I'm going to open up my customization for adding an inspection step. In my diagram view, you can see what this looks like. So if I move this a little out of the way, you'll see that now I can inspect my purchase receipt, and I can either fail it or pass it. Based on failing or passing, these states can have a transition to a different state. If I fail it, let's say I want to put it back on hold to resolve the issue, or if I drag and drop this, I can even go to a balanced state to resolve the issue. All this is done very visually and very easily without having to write any code. All this information is part of the new visual workflow engine that is an important part of 21 Release 2.
So we are going to demonstrate the exact workflow that Doug just provided an example of using the workflow engine. Instead of the standard receipt workflow, we are going to have the step to actually perform an inspection here. So you can see that on my purchase receipt record, of course, I have my line item added at the bottom, but we have the option to click the Inspect button to actually move forward with this inspection. Now you'll see based on that workflow that there are two options, of course, a fail or a pass. Unfortunately, this particular inspection failed. So as we click on that Fail button, notice as part of the workflow that the status moves into this brand new status of failed. This is part of the workflow that Doug just showed us. Now, beyond this, we've also added in Acumatica 2021 R2 the ability to generate CRM tasks based on business events. So in other words, when something occurs in the system, we can create a task as a result of that. In our example, anytime an inspection fails, we need a quality manager to follow up and make sure that that gets corrected. So I'll do a quick refresh on my screen and notice that I have an activity appearing. This is the task that we just created as a result of this receipt moving into that failed status. And here you can see the task being assigned to the appropriate person, in our case, the quality manager, to make sure that that shipment gets resolved. Now, of course, if we do end up getting the shipment resolved, I can use the same workflow that Doug showed you to actually put this on hold, go back through the process, and make sure that we pass this inspection. But this gives you great insight as to how the changes that we make in the visual workflow engine apply to an Acumatica environment such as this.